The creature may have been a barn owl. As cool as it would be to have an alien, robot, cryptid thing invading West Virginia, the truth of the matter is that the Flatwoods Monster may have just been a figment of the imaginations of a bunch of freaked-out kids. The wet blankets over at CSI Corp deduced that the kids saw an alien because that's what they wanted, or what they assumed they should see. The May brothers followed a UFO into the woods, smelled something horrible, and saw a bunch of smoke. However, it's most likely that they disturbed a barn owl that shrieked at them and flew off into the night. From there, the children's story spread and served as the basis for the myth of the Flatwoods Monster. The government tried to cover up the monster. People with an interest in the Flatwoods Monster can argue themselves to sleep about what the monster actually is. Is it an alien, a cryptid, an interdimensional traveler, all three? No one is ever going to come up with a definitive answer, but the one thing that's undeniable is that the government is absolutely aware about what happened in West Virginia in 1952. The entire town saw something fly across the sky on the night of the sighting of the monster, and there are different theories about what it was. Most people believe it was a meteor, but there are a few folks that think the UFO was actually a military craft that landed in the hillside. Before his death, they determined that the UFO was actually a meteor that only gave the impression of landing. The Flatwoods Monster might be a robot spy. Throughout various descriptions of the Flatwoods Monster, there are vague mentions of a metallic suit worn by the creature. Actually, metallic suit is too descriptive. Some witnesses don't mention metal of any sort. Some say that the creature was a reptilian head sticking out of a metal saucer-like object, and a few researchers believe it was an extraterrestrial biological entity wearing a hazardous material protective device. One witness to the original sighting claims that the monster wasn't actually an organic being, but a hovering mechanical shell. If the monster was a robot or android, it may have been doing reconnaissance work for whomever created it. If this is the case, whomever created the robot obviously wasn't worried about stealth. The monster made a second appearance hours after the first recorded encounter. A few hours after the May brothers and their friends ran into the creature in the woods, another group had the unlucky distinction of meeting the Flatwoods Monster. Allegedly, a couple and their infant were driving down the highway when their car mysteriously broke down. The husband got out of the car and immediately knew something was off. He later claimed to feel a low-level jolt of electricity move through his body, and that's when he smelled the noxious smell that surrounded the monster. The husband and wife claim that they saw a large reptilian creature floating across the highway and that it paid them little to no attention. It's telling that the monster didn't seem to be malicious in this instance. It's almost like the monster acts like a wild animal and only attacks when it feels threatened. The Flatwoods Monster has been around for a long time. The Flatwoods Monster first entered into the public consciousness in 1952 after a group of children aged 10-17 that included brothers Edward and Fred May chased a ball of fire that fell from the sky into the hills of Braxton County. They allegedly followed the ball of fire/UFO into the hills and ran right into the creature before hightailing it out of there. When the local sheriff began to investigate the sighting, he learned that there had been numerous sightings of the creature prior to the sighting by the May children. It could be that the Flatwoods Monster was actually an extraterrestrial that landed in the area to do research, or it could be an interdimensional cryptid similar to Sasquatch. Either way, there's something in Braxton County, West Virginia that draws the creature to its dark woods.
Being in the presence of the Flatwoods Monster causes nausea and convulsing.
Everyone who's had the poor luck to run into the Flatwoods Monster has experienced the same physical symptoms to varying degrees. Some of them deal with throat and nose irritation, while other people who were in the vicinity began vomiting and convulsing. Weeks after the event, one of the boys in the group, Gene Lemon, was still unable to swallow liquids because of the irritation. A doctor who examined the group said that their ailments were similar to those suffered by soldiers who encountered mustard gas. A doctor also noted that the effects are the same as people who were suffering from hysteria, but that claim somehow sounds even more ridiculous than a group of people seeing a horrific owl creature in the woods. Many alien abductees have had similar symptoms to the people who saw the Flatwoods Monster, which points towards the creature being from another planet or dimension.
The Flatwoods Monster's appearance is pure nightmare fuel.
The descriptions of many cryptids tends to vary between retellings, but stories about the Flatwoods Monster rarely change its look. Witnesses have described the monster as being towering and around 7 feet tall with a black body and a dark, glowing face surrounded by a pointed, hood-like shape. Many people describe the creature's eyes as shining like an animal's in the darkness, which many people have taken to mean that the creature has an owl-like head. The monster's body allegedly has a series of folds that ripple across its torso down towards its feet. Some witnesses have said that the creature has gnarled claws that lash out at people from its branch-like arms. It's likely that the creature's color isn't actually black, but a dark green or brown that's given a colorless look once removed from a light source. Some witnesses to the monster added a robotic dress or ship to its bottom half, giving it a kind of Sonic the Hedgehog villain vibe.
Hey guys, thank you so much for the support and likes and comments down below, and also thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to see you in the next video. Then take care, bye.